Thanks for tuning in to another video, and today I have two earbuds from Truefree, and this is the O2, which is the second generation of over-the-ear earbud. Then this is the B1, which is the first generation of the clip-on for Truefree. In this video, I'm going to go over the features of both of these. I'm going to go over the sound quality, the call quality, and the phone app, and what customizations you can do with this. Now, the advantage of the open ear fit is that the buds do not go in your ear canal. That is uncomfortable for you. Or the other big advantage of the open earbuds is that you can be aware of your surroundings. Believe it or not, these are actually very inexpensive. This one retails for $60. Click in my description there for a discount code. And this one here, it retails for $40, which again is a very inexpensive price for these. So if you were thinking about open earbuds, but you didn't want to go for the $300 ultra open earbuds from Bose, these would definitely be an inexpensive option for you. I would like to thank Truefree for sending me these review products, but there was no other compensation involved here, and the opinions in this video are only mine. Okay, so in the B1, you get your case here. You get a very short charging cable, USB-A to USB-C, and you get a little quick guide here with very basic instructions. And for the O2, you're going to get your case here and your buds. And another very short cable here, USB-A to USB-C, and another basic user guide, which you won't need because we're going to go over everything today. Okay, this is the Truefree app right here. You can download this from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. So I'm going to show you how to pair just one of these because it's the same process on both of them, basically. This is the Truefree app that we need, and I'm going to pair the B1. Before you pair this, it does tell you in the user guide to open this up. And I'm going to show you here, there's a little film that you have to remove on both of them. And this is the other one. So now we have this. Then we have to put it back in the case, close it, then open it back up, and then take them out again. And you'll hear them actually say power on. And I have the case open here. Then I'm going to go into my Bluetooth connections here. And this is the Truefree O2 that I already have paired. That's this one right here. It should be at the bottom here. Truefree B1. Let's go ahead and do that. And then it says, do you want to pair it? Of course we do. Okay, now that's paired here. So let's go back into the app. Now I'll go into the features of the app in just a little bit, and they're going to be about the same between both of them. I do have the Z Fold 6, and I did download the foldable version of this app, but for some reason the foldable portion is not really working that well. So on the front screen, it's going to work better, so I'm going to show you all the features of the app, but we'll have to do it on the smaller screen, but it does work just like it's supposed to, just not on the unfolded screen. So stay tuned. Okay, so let me just talk about the B1 here. So I have the two buds here. And if you see here, it's labeled with the R, and we got the R here, and it's color-coded, so it's very easy to see, so you can put them in the right spot, which is nice. Honestly, when they look exactly the same, it's sometimes nice to have the separation there. The other nice thing about these is they are flexible. I have several other buds like this, and they're very like hard plastic, so they don't move at all, which, you know, if it fits your ear well, then it's okay. If it doesn't fit perfectly, then it does get uncomfortable after a bit. And also, when they're very plastic and hard, then they go on a little harder. So it takes a little bit of effort to get them on and off your ear. But with this extra flexibility here, that makes it very comfortable. Now, these are made out of nickel titanium alloy with a skin-friendly silicone material over the top. And they do have 10.8 millimeter dual magnetic drivers with supposedly enhanced high-carbon fiber diaphragms. They actually sound very good. I'll get into that in just a little bit. But each bud does have two mics on here for better call quality. The B1s are IPX4 water resistant. They do have Bluetooth 5.4, and each one weighs 5 grams. They're actually very light. And as of now, they are only available in black. And I also just want to show you, you can't put these in the wrong way. So that goes in there perfectly, but if we kind of rotate it here, it won't go in and, it won't close. So very easy to get these in the right spot. I'll talk about the case in just a little bit. Now, these are the Truefree O2 open earbuds. And these retail for $60. Obviously, a completely different design here, where this goes over your ear, and I'll show you how this fits on the ear. But this goes over the ear, and then this fits right into the canal. And actually, this part goes pretty much right into the ear. So this fits better than some other over-the-ear buds, and I found that the sound was very good because this is going exactly where it's supposed to be. A lot of times with the open ear buds here, the sound is not good, but it's not really the bud's fault. It's because they're just not fitting in the right spot. Even with the Bose Ultra Open, if it's not fitting right, the sound is not that great, and you could actually use your finger and just push it in a little bit, and the sound improves like 100%. So, like I said, the fit is very important with these, and these I think will fit just about everybody. And you could actually also wear these with glasses. So, if that was a question you were dying to know, the answer is there. These are also made out of nickel titanium alloy, and this is a memory wire there, so I guess they will bend, but they'll go back to the original shape, and these hook over the ear very easily. They do have 15mm drivers, and the bass actually sounds pretty good on this. Like I said, I'll get into that in a little more detail. And also the design here is supposed to minimize the leakage since the speaker is like kind of right in your ear. Each of the buds here do have 2 microphones to help with clear calls and noise cancellation, and they are IPX5 rated, so a little better than the B1s. And they do have Bluetooth 5.3, so the B1s did have 5.4. Probably won't be a difference that you would notice. And they are actually very lightweight, only 8 grams, so you can wear these very comfortably for a while with no issues at all. And they only come in one color variation. It's the black or, dark gray or so, and then the orange here. That's as of now. They might be coming out with more colors in the future. Okay, so this is the B1, and the B1 and the O2 both have fast charging support. Charging this for 10 minutes will give you an hour of playback. Each bud here has 5.5 hours of playback time, and the charging case provides 19.5 hours, so you get 25 hours in total. You could actually listen to one bud and charge the other if you'd like, so that works well on these. There is no in-ear detection here, so if you do take the bud off, it will keep playing, so you do have to pause it before you take it off or pause it on your phone. And the case here, it's made out of plastic. It is $40, believe it or not, and plastic here actually feels pretty durable. It doesn't feel like a cheap plastic. And the hinge, feels very sturdy, very satisfying snap closed on this. And you got the USB-C cable back here. There is no wireless charging on this. And the magnetics are actually very strong. This is not going to shake out at all. So honestly, for $40, this is an amazing case. You would think it was much more expensive. Nice and smooth. It's very pocketable. Then just to show you the difference in the case sizes here. Obviously, these buds are much bigger, so it's going to be a bigger case. This case, though, does feel, it's also plastic, but it does feel a little cheaper. So they say this is Truefree says this is like a scratch-resistant, environmentally friendly design they have, and the process is supposed to be environmentally friendly to make this, but it does feel cheaper, honestly. It's still like a hard plastic here, but with the textured look on there, you kind of expect to feel a texture, and you don't. It's nice and smooth, and again, just makes it look a little cheaper. I don't know. And the opening of it is not as solid, but still actually feels pretty durable here. Opening and closing it is no problem. You also do have the USB-C on here. There is no wireless charging on this as well. But again, this is only $60. Now, you can also listen to one of these if you want and charge the other one. And you can actually just put these on a table and they will play because they don't have the in-ear detection. So again, before you take these out of your ear, make sure you shut them off. Now, Truefree does say it supports fast charging, but it doesn't give you the details of how many minutes you need to charge it and how long playback that you get. But a full charge will take an hour and 15 minutes, and you do get up to 6.5 hours of use on this, and 22 hours total with the case. So the 6.5 is a little more than the 5.5 on the B1, but the B1 does give you 25 hours total playback with the case. So you get the same touch controls on either one of these buds. And the nice thing is that you can customize them, and you can actually get 4 functions. You get a single press, a double press, triple press, and a press and hold. So you can have 4 different features on the right and left of each bud. And also the touch features do work even if you have just one bud in. And you can also do the assistant. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I have one bud here. And so now I'm going to go into the app in a little more detail in a minute, but for right now, let me just go into custom touch here. And then these are all the options. And these are the same for either one of these buds. And you can see here, one press, you could do this. I have it set for volume reduction, but if you click on it, these are the things you can do. And you could also turn it off if you want, which might be a nice feature on this. I'll tell you about that in a second. Then we got the double click. Again, same features. 3 blows, but that's actually 3 clicks it's supposed to be. I'm not really sure where they got that from. But again, same features, and you could do the left and the right. And then you could also press and hold it for 1.5 seconds. You can't change the duration of the press and hold. You can't make that like 3 seconds or something like that if you're doing it by accident, but you could change each one of these just fine. So I'll just do the press 3 times, and then I get this. Who won the Super Bowl this year? And then it will actually come through the bud here. I don't know if you could hear that. That was lower than the music, but you could actually get the Gemini here, and you could have it play your song or whatever you want. You pick your band or your song or your album or whatever you want, and it will play it just fine. So that works great. The only thing you need to do is when you do it the first time, and you say play music through YouTube or something like that, it will ask for permissions. But once you set that up, then again, you could do it just with the buds, and you don't need to interact with the phone at all, which is really nice. Okay, let me put that in there. Now, the only thing I wanted to point out here, so with these, the touch is actually harder to do because when you put this on your ear, this is going to be in the back of the ear. Now, if you touch right where the light is there, that's where the touch surface is. But honestly, it's easy to miss if it's in the back of your ear. Sometimes it's a little hard to just hit it, especially if you want to do, hit it 3 times or something like that. It's a little hard to do. So I'm just getting into this just so I can show you here. Yeah, for some reason on the left power, it always shows it as like 10%, and then it goes up to 100% once you open it up. So I take it out, and then it goes to 100%, or whatever the battery percentage is. But for some reason, it always has it on 10% for the first second or two, and same thing with the O2s. The same thing happens. So kind of an odd little glitch there, but then eventually it'll get to the right power. But again, if you look to touch this, it's a little tough, and so if you're going into custom touch, you might want to, for the single click, you might want to just do none on this, which you can do very easily, because sometimes if you turn your head, you have a jacket or something like that, or a hood, it could activate this little touch button on here for just the one time. So the double click, the triple click, and then the press and hold might be a little better. Every once in a while, the press and hold didn't activate on these, but I have another pair just like this, a different brand of the Soundcore buds that are like this. And every once in a while, you just have your head in a funny position, and it will just kind of register as a press and hold, and then it would activate whatever that is. So that's just something to keep in mind. So the other thing with the touch controls is that on the B1, it doesn't give you any audio chirps that you actually made touch. So sometimes if you're doing like a double press or a 3 times press, you don't really know if you got it both times or the 3 times or, whatever. So when you press this one, you don't get a chime on every press, but you get a chime on basically every action. So if you press it once and just wait, you'll get the chime. But if you press it twice or 3 times, you won't get 3 chimes. You'll just get the chime at the end of the second or the third tap to indicate that you did execute a function, and then it will go through. On this one, you don't always know that you did it. The touch features are a little bit better on the O2 here. And you can also see what the touch area is on this one, and then it's a curved thing. I also noticed that if I just slide it, sometimes it will activate the volume on it. So if you don't know exactly where it is, you just kind of slide a little bit, and you could activate the touch control on that, the single touch. And just want to show you, this whole thing is a touch area here, so which is really nice. So you can control anything right here, and it's very easy to touch and very sensitive. The taps on this one was just, like I said, much easier. Also, actually not listed anywhere on any of these options. If you look here, there's no option to answer a call or end a call, but I just experimented with this, and if you just double press, when the call comes in, you double press it, it will answer it, and then if you double press again on either of these, it will end the call. And you could also do that with just one bud in, which is really nice. And as far as I can see, there's no way to change that. Okay, so let me just go back to the beginning of the app here and just show you a couple of things. Now, you do get the battery percentage of your left and right buds, and same thing on this one. That's the same feature, but you don't get any idea of how much battery is left in the case, which, kind of stinks. It would be nice if you had that. And also, I'll just show you, on both of these, you get the light here. When you plug it in, if it's blinking, that means it's charging. And then when it's fully charged, it will just be a solid white. And on this one, it's just a green, and it just blinks slower. But then it will be a fully green, a steady green when it is fully charged. Now, the B1 actually has a couple of extra features in the app, so let me just show you that. Now, if you did have any issues, I told you could disable just like the single click, but if you want to disable all of them, you could do it right here. The gaming mode, you can turn that on and off. If you're clicking through the features here, clicking through the modes, if you have it set here to go through gaming mode, right here. Then if you just did the 3 taps again, it will go from gaming mode to movie mode to normal mode. And there'll be a little assistant there that just announces each time that you change the mode. I didn't have any issues with delay or syncing or anything like that. I'm not a big gamer, so I didn't really test the gaming mode. But again, just in normal mode, I didn't have any issues watching videos or movies or anything like that. It seemed like it was perfectly fine. But if you need a little less latency, then you would put it in gaming mode. I assume movie mode is slightly less latency as well. I'm not sure, but again, I didn't notice any issues with it. The O2 here does not have a movie mode on it, just the gaming mode and the normal mode. And then just going back here, we got the custom touch. That was, again, where all the touch controls are. And then we have more functions. And again, the B1 is going to give us some more functions here. In this one, you can turn on the movie mode, but you can't set it for the taps to go directly from normal mode to movie mode. You actually have the gaming mode on, and then it will cycle through all of them. But right here, if you can turn it on in the app if you would like to. The drainage function, I actually had these on my ears, and I didn't quite realize that it was to drain the water outside of the speakers. It does make a pretty loud noise, which didn't do any damage, I don't think, but it is pretty loud. Then you have the dynamic EQ here. So the dynamic EQ, you could just turn it on, and that would hopefully be good for all the different music that you listen to, but there are some presets that I'll show you that in a minute. Find your earbuds, we can click on this. And then I couldn't get this to work. My location feature, I did turn it on, but it didn't give me any mapping on here. So that might be a software glitch that will improve in the future. And then you might get exactly where it is on the map. And I didn't have to blur anything out. So that's really nice. But then here you can find the left bud or the right bud separately. We just click on it. And there you go. Kind of makes that actually a really irritating noise. But then hopefully you can find it. And then it should stop in a second. There we go. Okay, so let's get back out of this. Device information, I'll just show you what this is. I didn't go through that. We got this right here, just some information about the actual device. We got tutorials, and you got a little video here if you want to watch that. And we got the white noise library, which is actually really nice, because if you click on this, you got all these white noises, and I mean, you got a lot of them. So that's kind of a cool feature. It's just kind of built in there that was just not expected. So that's kind of cool. Then we could do some troubleshooting here for technical problems there. Then the last thing on the bottom here, this is the prompt tone voice adjustment. So the only thing that this really happens with is the power on, the power off. It does also give you this when you're going into gaming mode and movie mode. So you could just kind of make that louder or quieter if it is irritating you. So you could actually turn it off too if you want. And that's this. Now we got the equalizer down here. There's a couple of options with this. We're going to go into the preset. So these are the options, and these actually were much better on the same options here. On the O2 here, it actually was better. It was more of a difference between these adjustments. And if you went into like the bass enhance, it gave it a little more of a bassy feel, but it made the bass all kind of muddy and it wasn't separated as well, and it really didn't sound actually any better. But on the O2s, it did actually make a big difference. But these are your options that you can pick, and whatever music you're listening to. Then we can go into customize, and then we can go into the adaptive. And you have these same features if you just go over here. Here's customize. That was the same thing there. And you could adjust it individually here, which is really nice. But again, the same thing with this, the equalizer. When you change these, I didn't really notice that much of a difference with this. I think I would, with other earbuds, I've noticed more of an improvement when you do change them. But you can kind of move this all the way up and down here and change it, and you can only do one at a time because it takes a second for it to each time for it to kind of set it. But then if you do this, and you could tell a difference because I do all these one at a time, and then maybe that's not a big change. But then if you go to here, repossess, that goes back to the beginning. So you could tell it when you have it all set, and then you go back to the baseline. Like I said, it wasn't a terrible improvement on these. I think the presets have more of a change than the actual custom equalizer, just from what I saw now. And again, that might change with the software update. But then once you do get something here, then you can go up here and just customize it, and you can change, put whatever name you want in there, customize 45 or whatever you want. And then we just have to save and apply. And then that's my customization right there. Then I could just click on that quick if I want. Now the adaptive, again, that is right here, same thing. And these are the same features from the B1 to the O1. So for the equalizers, the same exact options. But if you go into the adaptive, It takes about 2 minutes to do, and you got to wear these, and then it's going to go find out which is the best settings for you. This is actually a pretty cool thing. It will customize your frequency and then give you the sound that fits you the best, which is really awesome. And those are all the options. And if we go to the settings, it just shows you here. We got, again, that white noise library, but that's about all you would want to really find out here. And if you click on this, it just gives you some, basic information, again, if you want to contact them, if you have some issues or something like that. Okay, now I'm just going to put the O2s in there and just change that quick. But again, it does that same thing where the left is 10% and then it goes up to 100% if I take it out. And that's just kind of a weird little glitch there, but that's okay. Not a big issue at all. So the same features here. We got disable, the gaming mode, the custom touch, same exact features here. And obviously you could set them differently for, each other. From the two different buds, you could have different settings, obviously. And you could go to the default if you kind of made a mess of it. You could just go ahead and fix that. Then we got more functions. Now on the B1s here, you have the Find My Buds and the drainage feature, which are not present on the O2. This is basically all you have here. And we could just go into device information, which it gave you there. But you do have the white noise library. And the same thing, like, a lot of choices there. So that's kind of cool. And then we go, the more functions, we just went through that. And then this is here, we have the equalizers. So same exact presets as before. Then we got the customize, and the customize I made for this one is not in there. And then we got the adaptive wake when we do that test. And then we got the customize here. Same thing, just kind of moves it over. So you can get to the different options through here, or you can get through the different options through the top there. So either way works. Let's just go back to the presets, and that's what you have there. So that's basically the app. That's everything that's available there. Let's talk about the sound quality. So these actually sounded very good. I mean, much better than expected, much better than I was expected, at least. Like I said, I have the Ultra Open Bose here, and this was better, but honestly, not 6 times better. I mean, these were very good. The only place where really they lost it is the bass, and more so on the B1. The bass was just not as prominent. It wasn't as distinct, and it wasn't as clear. It wasn't as separated as the rest of the music. On the O2s here, you have a bigger driver, and the bass just sounded better. But, there's just no way about it. It was definitely a fuller, richer, warmer sound on these over here, the O2s. Volume is much louder on the O2s here. The B1, I could actually put it at 100%, and I was able to tolerate it, and it wasn't so bad. The O2s, I could also go to 100% and tolerate it, but it was definitely much louder. And I usually don't like to put my buds all the way up like that. So the B1s are definitely lower than the O2s there. That was a big difference. And the O2s here do have, like I said, a better bass, better separation, a warmer, fuller sound. It just sounded a little bit better. But, that was comparing them, back and forth and going through them. But if you just had these on, they sounded good. You'd be able to listen to just about everything. I was testing the bass with some, heavy rock and, metal music and stuff like that. And, it wasn't keeping up with that, but it wasn't bad. And if you listen to, pop rock or stuff like that, no issues using this. If you're using the podcasts or anything, it would sound just fine with this. No problems at all. But if, again, really bass, drum heavy stuff, you lose a little bit with this, but still not bad. This is $40. That is fairly good. And I don't think you'd have any issues with this. And also, some of the function of the music is if it's not sitting just right in your ears. So everyone might have a different sound effect depending on how closely it is into your ear canal. But I also felt like these get into your ear canal much better, much closer than these did. So that also made the sound a little bit more richer on these. Because if you just took these and just push them in a little bit into my ears, the sound got better. So again, it's not 100% the devices. It's a little bit just how it fits in your ear. And obviously it can't fit perfectly for everyone. Both have multi-point connection, and it is very easy to connect. It gives you like little directions when you first open the little packets there. So for the first device, I showed you how to do that. And then once that's paired, then basically what you need to do, I paired it to my phone. So then I would just turn off the Bluetooth on my phone, and then I turn on my second device. And then all you need to do is put the buds in here, open the case, and put your second device in pairing mode, and it paired like instantly. So no problem at all. I paired this to to a computer, to a Windows computer, and it worked seamlessly. It worked, immediately. So no issues with that, which is great. On this price point to have multi-point connection on both of these, that's pretty good. This is $40 and this is $60. That's pretty hard to beat. Again, just an extra feature on this, like I said, which you don't really expect at this price point. You do get gaming mode on here, but I didn't have any issues with any lag or latency. The B1, if you do have it in gaming mode, it's going to be 60 milliseconds. And the O2 here, if you have it in gaming mode, it's going to be 70 milliseconds. And these both work with Apple and Android. The connection was perfect. I had no lost connections, and it connected, immediately. So let me show you the call quality on these. Again, this is the Truefree B1. I'm going to have some noise in the background, and this is going to be the noise. That's pretty loud, right? So I'm going to show you what it sounds like with that noise on and wearing the earbuds and nothing else. Well, just the earbuds. And my clothes, of course.
So this is the Truefree B1 in a moderately noisy environment. I don't know, how does it sound to everybody? You could leave a comment which one you think is better. And this is the call quality of the Truefree B1 in a quiet environment. This hopefully does sound better. We'll find out in a little bit.
Okay, this is the call quality of the Truefree O2. And again, I'm going to have the same noise as before. Okay, this is the Truefree O2 in a somewhat noisy environment. Again, the Truefree O2 in a noisy environment has the sound to everybody. And this is the Truefree O2 in a quiet environment. Again, hopefully this does sound better. So let me go into my conclusion about these. These are actually both a great value, like I keep saying through the video. I mean, this is $40 and this is $60, and you do have a couple extra features that are not expected at this price point. And the sound is definitely better than you would expect at this price point, or than I expected at this price point. But if I had to pick between these two, first off, it's the form factor. That's a big difference. And these were very comfortable. I had no issues with them, and it is flexible, and it definitely sits on your ear much nicer. But sometimes the back of your ear, if it's not sitting just right, it might cause a little bit of fatigue back there. But again, if you like this form factor, this is great. I thought these just fit a little more comfortably. They're a little bit bigger, a little heavier, but I thought these fit for me a little more comfortably. And at this price point, though, definitely you could just go ahead and experiment. If these are your first open earbuds and any earbuds bother you, or they pop out, or they're not comfortable, you could definitely try one of these, and I think you'd be pretty happy with them. The other advantage of these open earbuds is that you can hear your environment. That's kind of the main thing with this. So if you're in an office or something like that, you could have your music going on, but then if someone calls you, or if a coworker's coming up to say hello or something like that, you would definitely hear them. If you're going for a run or a bike ride, you'd be able to hear the traffic. If you're walking alone or something like that, you would definitely hear someone coming up behind you. But if I had to pick between these two, if I like the form factor equally on both of them, then I would go with the O2. It is just a little more expensive, but I thought it definitely sounded better than the B1. It was definitely louder, and it definitely had just a fuller, bigger sound. But again, these sounded great too. I wouldn't have any issues if I just had these. Now, if you did go with the O2s, you do lose a couple of features like the movie mode and the Find My Buds feature, which honestly is a really nice feature. But these are a little tougher to lose. They're kind of bigger, and with this color, I don't know if you'd really be losing them. But if you did lose them, they would be gone. Also, the touch controls are definitely easier on the O2 here. It's just a bigger area, and I found it easier to hit consistently. Okay, so thank you for watching this, and I appreciate that. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions on these, go ahead and leave it in the comments. And if you have these and you like them or you don't like them, leave it in the comments as well. I'm sure other people would like to hear about that. Consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much.